How can you kick off the new year in a healthy note? It is the question on everyone's mind today. Here with her tips, tricks, the do's and don'ts of starting out on the right foot in 2024, Dr. Devi, New York City physician and founder of Metropolis Pain Medicine. Thank you so much for joining us here to kick off the new year. Pretty interesting day. I know a lot of people are going to start, the workout, crowd the gym, try to eat right, but maybe there's a little bit more to it. Your thoughts?
Sure. Well, the first thing is we want to live longer, right? So that means addressing the biggest killers, which are heart disease and cancer. Now, over the past couple of years, they might have had some contact with the medical system, but it's usually to treat specific medical problems or deal with emergencies. But the main thing you want to do is address sort of all the preventative care and screening. So that means checking for high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, making sure you have your mammograms, colonoscopies, all that stuff up to date. It's not as glamorous or glitzy, but these are the things that can save your life. So you want to check in with the primary care provider and get all of that stuff
Dr.
up to
Devi,
date.
a lot of
Now,
that slacked off during the COVID time. Have we caught up at all on that?
Somewhat, but not completely. I mean, it can be a daunting thing because you go see the doctor and then you get diagnosed with these things that you might think you didn't have, but you always had them. It's just that perhaps, but it's just that you didn't get diagnosed, and that means you didn't get treated. So if you get diagnosed, it might be at a later stage where it's harder to treat. So that's why it's so important to get diagnosed and treated if you do have those conditions.
Yeah, and we got to keep moving, maybe not a die-hard exercise regimen, but keep it going.
Exactly. So let's say you can't do this daily gym routine, maybe because of injuries or time constraints. The most important thing is to walk or try to take breaks and move every day, because there's a lot of evidence that just moving, using your muscles, not being sedentary can actually save your life and prevent a lot of different health conditions. So even if you can't go to the gym, just getting up regularly, using your muscles can actually prevent a lot of different health conditions. And so that's the most important thing, actually, avoiding that sedentary lifestyle.
And that might help us, keep from injuring ourselves, perhaps?
Exactly. So that's another top killer, unintentional or accidental injuries. And falls are in that category. Now, some of the big risk factors for falls are vision problems, balance problems, dizziness, for example, and weakness. So if you think about that, this is the time to get glasses. It sounds simple, but if you have a vision problem, address those things. If you have weakness, home exercise regimens, a focused regimen on that weakness would be useful at this time. If you have ankle instability, sometimes people have a wobbly ankle or some wobbly knee, this would be the time to use that brace. And in terms of dizziness, we're talking about screening, but it's also important to get these things worked up, because a fall, it's not that the fall necessarily will kill you, but it could set you on a downward spiral. Along those lines, motor vehicle accidents fall into that category of unintentional injuries. So there are a lot of things, people think about drunk driving, but there are a lot of substances, whether it's over-the-counter medications and other things that have been legalized recently. People get on the road with this. It's very important to be safe as a driver.
Thank you, Dr. Devi.
Cautious.
We're running out of time, but thank you so much for your insights. We really appreciate it. Dr. Devi Nampiaparampil, thanks for joining us. We will be back. We are about to get started. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you.